I'm on a bookworm Pup 64 today, and I thought I'll do something slightly different today. I'm a photo hobbyist, and I thought what I'll do is try to highlight some of the photo editing that gthumb is capable of, and is surprisingly capable. So the first thing you have to do to understand and follow this is install gthumb and GIMP. I'll try to highlight some of the editing that the gthumb can do, and then also briefly mention the slideshow option toward the end. So I have gthumb open here. These are 3 photos I've taken this morning around my neighborhood, and then to bring up the editing tools, you just tap in E key, edit E, and so here is a small shot, and the first thing that you notice that at least catches my eye is that it's not level. So it's crooked. So what you can do is just go ahead and rotate. Rotate tool is really excellent in my view, because small increments that it can do. I'm just tapping on my right arrow key and left arrow key, right arrow key, and right arrow key around here seems okay. So go ahead and accept. Now gthumb will destroy or modify original file permanently. So what you may want to do, just go ahead and Ctrl-D, as in dog, D, to make a copy, and you have a copy now. So you can go ahead and modify this here. So the first thing is that I rather have this long walkway in the center, so we'll go ahead and go to crop tool, and then we'll just go ahead and go to the none. Aspect ratio is none, and we'll just go ahead and tap on maximize tab here. So, and then you can go ahead and adjust it to your liking. So here looks about center, and then you can probably just decrease the height a little bit. And what I'd like to do is emphasize the cloud. It doesn't stand out sort of right now, and hopefully we can go ahead and improve the visual appeal of the cloud. So we'll go ahead and do an accent here, and then next, we can go ahead and automatic contrast adjustment is surprisingly capable. So we'll just go ahead and tap it, and then see what we get, and then tap it again. So this is original, I believe, and this is what's called a stretch here. So that's not too good. It doesn't really emphasize the cloud at all, seems like. Equalize, let's see what that does. So this is the original, and this is what the equalize does, and it makes it significantly more accented. So that's good. And we'll just go to the third one, uniform, see what that looks like. So it's in a way, it seems slightly extreme, and let's go ahead and just go ahead and accept that, and then try to see what we can do. And then we can go ahead and try to see the curves. And then over here is a lighter or brighter luminance here, and this is darker. So dark seems pretty good at this point, and we can make it slightly darker in the dark areas. And in lighter areas, if you make it too light, it's going to wash out all the differentiation of the cloud. So when you come down a lot, you can see that Opera House out bookstore opera house really stands out, and you may prefer this, and in which case we can just go ahead and actually I prefer it. So we'll just go ahead and accept the jack of all trades a button here which controls a lot of parameters. So the first thing is that saturation button is pretty interesting in that you can, if you wash out all the saturation, you actually just have a black and white. So we'll just go all the way over here, you just have a black and white. In contrast, if you go overboard, you have all this mismatch of a colors effect. So we'll just go back to around the center here, and then you can go ahead and do a minor adjustment either with the arrow key or scroll of the mouse, and I tend to just use the scroll of the mouse, and we'll just come down a little bit as far as saturation. It does look significantly unnatural. And then contrast, it is actually pre-contrast scene already, and then this is what happens if you just increase and if you decrease. And then gamma is usually what I play around with after contrast. So depending on your taste, this looks okay to me. So, and then color levels, I use it particularly with the black and white, but here we want to give it a little bit more red tinge to the whole picture, and we can do that just by going up. If you do that too much, it looks like that. So you can see that this red color gets accentuated a bit, and we can go down to the yellow, see if you get more yellow this way or more bluish this way. So we'll just go ahead and save it. So this is what we ended up with, and what we started with is this. What we can do is try to look at it, and then first thing is it's crooked, so we'll just go to the rotating tool and arrow key. So this makes it significantly improved, and then we'll use the crop tool and then maximize, and then maybe aspect ratio will go for 16:9. Usually it's pretty good for a computer monitor. And then we'll go ahead and accept, and let me do it slightly more. So we want to go ahead and cut out a little bit of photos on this side. So there is a person walking behind a pigeon, and there is a little bit of head of another pigeon here. It's hard to see. So we're going to go ahead and save this, and I'll make the copy with a Ctrl-D again. And then this time what we'll do is we'll go automatic contrast enhancement again, and we'll look at the sky and down here, and then try equalize, and try uniform. Usually uniform seems to be, give you a pretty good distinction, especially if you're thinking about doing a black and white conversion. So we'll go ahead and go to uniform, and then black and white. I usually start with a grayscale, see what that looks like. So here is grayscale. Click is the original without with a color, and click again is a grayscale. And then we'll look at the saturation with a cloud, and looks roughly the same. The color of the texture of the cloud doesn't really change much, so we'll just go ahead and accept. And then we're going to go ahead and use the this window again, check off all trades, and then because it's already converted into a black and white, saturation doesn't really do much. You can see it's already, because we're already working with the black and white. So we'll look at the contrast, and then we'll go a little bit to the right arrow, and then there's pre-contrast, and then we're gonna go ahead and tap gamma here again, and we're gonna make it a little dark. So depending on your taste, what you prefer. And then we'll go ahead and I don't like just a pure black and white. I actually like a slightly warmer tone black and white, and most of photos seems like around 10, value of 10 seems to be my liking. So if you go way over here, it looks like yellow is too much. So I usually hang around 10 and 10, and to me that looks pretty good. And then we go ahead and accept, and then save again. And then here, likewise, here is also tilted. And then I also want to make this in the cloud slightly more accentuated. So what you do is just simply just tap on G key, like in Gary or Great G, and then you'll pop up the GIMP. So here we have GIMP. So once you're in a GIMP, you can go ahead and tap on / key, and you'll bring up this small tiny search window, and I just put in 3D, and then you get a 3D transform, and I just enter, and you get a tool that allows you to correct a cellular phone, especially distortions, especially when it's down low in an angle. So you can go ahead and I know by experience that you can see this person is leaning, so we want to try to straighten that out, and she leans a lot more. So what you want to do is try to make it slightly more reasonable. There's still some leaning, but this looks much more reasonable, and we'll just go ahead and transform, and then Ctrl-Shift-J will get a view of the photos. So Ctrl-Shift-J will give you this new transform image, and then we'll go to crop tool here, and we're just going to grab this here, and we'll go to the other window on the other side, and then click in the middle. And while we're at it, we also want to accentuate this cloud. So usually what I do is I go to brush tool, and then you want to paintbrush, you want to go to darken only. So it'll more likely you'll be on a normal, but what you want to do is go to darken only, and it's going to darken the area of interest and adjust the size. Opacity, you may want to just, it's going to be 100% to start with, and you want to go down to maybe around 10 or 11 or whatever. So and then you can go ahead and adjust the size of the brush. We can go down to a little bit, and then the other thing that if you just do it now, it's going to make it black and white. It's actually going to be black. What we want to do is try to blend in with a brownish dark. So what we want to do is just click here, and then click the eyedropper, and then go to area that's rather dark, and we want to try to match the texture. So now we're ready to go ahead and paint. So you can see that it actually matches the background a little bit and accentuates the background. And then while I add it, I usually tend to just give you a slightly halo effect or lighter area of attention is here. So like a little bit of vignette. So this looks pretty good to me. And then what we can do is simply just file and overwrite. This is a file that originally imported from the gthumb. So export, and then we're going to snap back to the gthumb, and now the house is straighter, more natural, and there is a significant darkening of the clouds. Steps. So we're going to rotate it with a arrow key. So that looks roughly right. And then we're going to crop. So with a 16:9 maximize, it seems to be okay for this. So we're gonna roughly get it here, and then again go to stretch and see what that looks like. And we're interested in getting some accentuation of difference here, and so this looks good. There's a clear distinction between these two. The angles are of interest, except, and then we're gonna go again to the black and white. See, you can see the sidewalk looks significantly accentuated with some. So we'll go to with this, except, and then we'll go to the jack of all trades here, and then we're gonna just go ahead and roughly 10 what the contrast looks like. And I want an overall dark. So I like it because you can see that clear accentuation here. So that looks okay to me. And then we can go to this here, special effects, and then there's a lot of special effects. The one I tend to use significantly a lot is the vignette. So it gives you a subtle darkening of the outside. It gives you subtle attentiveness in the center of the screen. So vignette, we want to, so this is a vignette is applied. This is the original. We're going to apply it and then accept. And I want a slightly more of a vignette effect. So we just have to do it again. Go to special effects again, go down to the vignette. And it's do that. We did that here, and then save. So now, and here's what we ended up with. And you can go ahead and do it again with a GIMP too. But this is what brief editing in gthumb did. So I just want to show you what I did in a phone. There is a Snapseed app in the Android phone, which is very helpful, and this is all a cellular phone editing. The last thing I want to mention is that gthumb has ability to give you a slide presentation like photo presentation. So if you just tap on F5, it goes through the photos, and I have set it up so it looks like there is a box that's rotating. So I think that's a neat feature, and you can adjust that time and so on. So there is a slide feature. You can go ahead and go to the hamburger menu, preferences, and then under presentations. Sometimes it's under viewers, but this is on presentations. You can and right now I have cue from the bottom, and every 3 seconds, and it's automatically restarts and random order, and then you can actually go ahead and, so we'll go ahead and escape, and then F5 again, and then you can just pause by P, and then P again, just to go ahead and toggle a presentation. And I think that's